going on, dudes and dudettes? So yes, I've been waiting for this to build up a little bit so I can see what the Lakers have done with their roster. I know the past couple years they've taken a while, so I've waited a bit, but luckily they've made the decisions pretty early on, so it's only been the first couple days, so definitely glad most of this is done. They probably have maybe one more contract, Alfonso McKinney, to see if he's official or not going to be returning. But you probably won't. You could probably maybe save some money if you let him go. Then they probably have two more spots if they need to add anybody. I know Jared Dudley might be another guy they're thinking about bringing back, but he was pretty much injured all of last year, and he kind of wants to be more of a coach, so maybe they might give him an assistant coach job instead of a player contract, but you never know. So let's run through your new LA Lakers. So actually, half of these guys are ex-Lakers. They're returning back to the team. So yes, Trevor Ariza, the guy who won the title with the Lakers in 2009, he is returning on a one-year deal. It's great to have him back. It sucks that we lost him so early. It's been almost 10 plus years since he's been back with the Lakers, and I know I've tried to make some trades to get him back. I've always just barely missed him, but now they finally got him, so a good rotation player. Then Wayne Ellington, another ex-Laker. He was there during the dark days of towards the end of Kobe's career, and right there, so yeah, it was tough. He never really blossomed into the player he is right now, which is kind of okay on defense, but definitely known more as a three-point shooter, which is what the Lakers need, obviously, with the type of players, the top three heavy players they have, so not bad to bring him back. Then yes, Dwight Howard, he was only gone for 1 year, went to Philadelphia. Now he's back with the Lakers. They need another center down in there, especially a tough guy who could take on other guys while AD is out there, and so Anthony Davis doesn't get hurt as much, so hopefully that ends up helping out. Kent Bazemore, another ex-Laker who was there while it was the end of the Kobe years and stuff, and it was sort of the beginning of the end for Kobe's playing career. And yeah, he played pretty well one time. He kind of thought that the Lakers were going to match this offer sheet that the Hawks gave him, probably like a couple years, 30 some odd million, but they didn't. But now he's back. Played pretty well for the Golden State Warriors past couple seasons, so I heard a lot of these guys turned down a bunch of more money to be able to come and play with the Lakers because they believe there's a good chance for not only playing time, because there's a lot of roster spots, but win a championship as well. So glad we're able to steal a guy from them. And yes, I mentioned in the other video, finally, Carmelo Anthony and LeBron James will be on the same NBA team that isn't an All-Star or Team USA team. It's been definitely 10 plus years in the making as well, and finally got it done. I don't think he's going to be playing crazy amount of minutes, but 15 to 20 here and there shouldn't be too bad for him. So yes, finally we'll see how that works out. And then Malik Monk, definitely one of the younger players they finally got. All these other guys were almost over 30, but this guy is, still in his early 20s. Just came off his rookie deal with Charlotte. I knew about him when he was in high school, just as a very athletic shooting guard, and was a very good three-point shooter, but even while at Kentucky for his 1 year and his first couple years in the league, didn't really show as much of those two that you hoped he would, or even progress well. He did last year have, he shot 40% from the three-point line, which is what the Lakers need, obviously, but some people thought that might have just been because it's a contract year as well, but hopefully he can, bring some of that 40% to the Lakers three-point shooting, so that's all we can hope for. Then yes, Marc Gasol made a decision. It was kind of up to him whether he wanted to accept his second year of his deal that he signed last season, or just retire or do whatever. But I guess after Spain was eliminated from the Olympics, he decided that he wasn't going to come back and take that year. So the Lakers have at least 3 centers, I believe, because AD will be playing the center position, and it's not too bad. You might use them as a trade piece later. So I don't know. I don't expect him to get much playing time either. Then yes, they made their decision on whether they keep Caruso or Talen Horton-Tucker, and they decided to keep THT. Gave him like a 3-year, 50 or 30 some odd $1 million deal. Not too shabby for a second round pick. But yeah, I kind of just think he stayed because he's part of LeBron's friends agency, Clutch Sports, of course. And I don't know, I would have picked Caruso over him, but I think the Lakers probably got a player later that could substitute for Caruso. So it's not horrible. We'll see what he could do. He's still very young, still only like 20 years old. By the time his contract ends, he's only like 22, I think. So yeah, we'll see what he can blossom into. Then, as I mentioned, a replacement for Caruso sort of is Kendrick Nunn, who ended up getting the Lakers' highest contract of these free agents. He had got like a 2-year deal, and I think it was like the $5 million a year, so around $10 million bucks. He's a nice player. He's like 26 or something. Played pretty well going undrafted to the Miami Heat, and is a good rotational player for them. Started sometimes, came off the bench, and produced very well for them. So definitely glad they were able to get some type of youthful guy at the point guard position, and guy could handle the ball as well, score inside and shoot the ball too. So definitely okay about that. And yes, as I mentioned, Alex Caruso, the bald mamba, bald eagle, the white mamba, whatever the Lakers fans called him. Yes, he's finally leaving for I think it was like a 3 or 4 year deal, 30 some odd million dollars, also with the Chicago Bulls. You know, they had a lot of money to spend. I don't know why the Lakers didn't want to match it, but I guess they have an idea what they might be doing, because they still haven't made a decision on Dennis Schroeder as well. So yeah, it was great while it lasted. I knew I wanted to get him once he came out of the draft to the Lakers, but it took a while for him to get there to the Lakers, and he progressed very well. Definitely very happy for him. He's always a Laker for life because he won an NBA championship. So congrats to him on that nice contract. Then 5-star forward Dariq Whitehead has decided to go to Duke for not this season coming up, but the following, next year. He's the second commitment for John Shire once Coach K leaves, and it's a 5-star guy. I heard he turned down a chance of like just to skip next year of high school and go play for the G League for like 500 grand, which was pretty nice. But of course, you know, Duke is Duke, so he probably thinks he's gonna make more than that while being at Duke with a couple other talented guys. So that's all right for me. So I'm definitely happy about that. Then, yes, sadly, we have to report some pretty bad news for a wide receiver in Brew McCoy, who I had always liked coming out of high school from Orange County. He chose USC, went to Texas, decided not to go to Texas anymore, came back and had to sit out a whole year, had like a sickness condition that kept him out his first year, but finally got some playing time last year, and he was looking for like a major role this year. But I think it was July 24th, they said that he had I don't know, they called it two different things. It's mainly, I would think it's a domestic violence issue with a partner, but they also mentioned because it's like a partner, it's like some type of altercation with the partner. They named it something else. I forgot what it was, but I don't know what that means. Maybe is that because they weren't married, so it's not domestic violence? I don't know. But yes, he was arrested, got charged for that, made bail. I think he goes to court in October, November, but as of right now, he was released from team activities from USC, so I don't know if that means he's officially kicked off the team or if he can even play in between that time. So I think as of right now, USC is just letting it play out for a couple weeks, maybe a month or so, to see if he can play or not. But seasons are right around the corner, so he could miss some time. But of course, if he's caught guilty, then he deserves to miss time. Then Gary Trent Jr., yes, one of my more favorite ex-Duke shooting guards that came out recently. He was traded to Toronto from Portland, and he kind of decided to bet on himself to see if he could get a deal. And yeah, I think it was like a 3-year, $54 million deal that Toronto was going to pay him, and it's pretty good for a second-round pick as well. Obviously, 20-some-odd million more than Taylor Horton-Tucker, but he just proves that he's a better player than him, which I already knew. But yes, he's staying with Toronto. A nice payday for him, for a player out of Duke, so congrats to him. And then an ex-USC player, DeMar DeRozan. I know he was trying to come to LA, and he probably would have taken what that Kendrick Nunn got, that two-year, $10 million deal. He probably would have. I know the Lakers were trying to do like a sign and trade with San Antonio before they did the trade with Russell Westbrook in Washington, but I mean, this has to be a pretty good option if you're DeMar DeRozan, because he got a 3-year, $85 million sign and trade with the Chicago Bulls, which is pretty freaking awesome. So, I mean, you know, what is that, like 20 some odd million dollars a year compared to only $5 million? I mean, that's a nice pay grade, so got to get it while you still can. He's still early 30s, so he still has a chance to come to the Lakers in his mid-30s maybe, but yes, a couple of my players are going to the Chicago, which is pretty crazy. So good luck to all of them. And yes, big matchup last Sunday, Team USA Soccer versus Mexico in the Gold Cup. I don't really pay attention unless the USA keeps advancing farther, so luckily this was the final. And watch, for the most part, I missed the first half mostly, but came in the second half and pretty much watch everything. And it's been a crazy rivalry between these two, and I don't know, either way, it could have gone either way. So many chances for either team. Congrats to Team USA, but I mean, they keep saying it was like, oh, it's our third team, so we're not even sending our first or second best players to this competition, and Team USA still won. So I think that just means bad things for the Team Mexico head coach more than anything. But I mean, it's okay, you won this stuff for bragging rights, but I don't think it solidifies their spot in the next World Cup, which is more important, so they got to work on that. And I don't know, I'm pretty sure later in the year is when USA and Mexico play again. It'll be another big time matchup, as it always seems to be. So yeah, congrats to both, I guess. Then ex-USC point guard Taj Edey has signed a undrafted deal with the Orlando Magic the other day, so congrats to him. At least he was able to get on a team, so that's very cool. Then Matthew Hurt of Duke, the other guy who wasn't drafted, but DJ Stewart did sign with Sacramento, but Matthew Hurt does sign with the Houston Rockets to get a chance to be able to play. I don't know the specifics of these two contracts, but at least they're getting an opportunity, which is the most important part. So congrats to those guys. Then KJ Costello, he's ex-Stanford quarterback, ex-Mississippi State for his final year, decided to come out, and he was looking for a team. I know the Chargers had offered him a spot. I don't know why, because they had already signed Chase Daniel as their backup, and they still had Easton Stick, a guy they drafted a few years back for the third-string quarterback. And now they have signed this guy, and from what I heard, there's 4 guys going, but you really only need 2 to 3 quarterbacks. So I hope they're not preparing for the worst and thinking that, you know, Justin Herbert's going to get hurt. So I'm hoping that's not the sign that fate is having for the Chargers, but I don't know. He's an okay third-string quarterback, but he's not a great starting quarterback, Costello, so we'll see how that goes. Then Justice Winslow, ex-Duke player that won their last championship with them, he's had an up and down career so far. He played very well at times for the Heat, got traded to Memphis and didn't get to play last year because of an injury pretty much, which sucked, and he was owed like $13 million off his second contract that he got from the Heat, and the Grizzlies decided not to accept it. So he is a free agent as of this second. I haven't really looked either the past couple of days if he did sign anywhere, but I know he is a free agent, so he can sign anywhere he wants to. So, I mean, I was hoping for the Lakers, but there might be too many guys who can't shoot the 3 on that team, so he probably won't come, which sucks. Then, yes, as I mentioned before, Pac-12, Big 12, they're kind of maybe had preliminary discussions, but George K., I don't know how to say his last name, but the commissioner of the Pac-12 didn't say that they were officially going to talk and merge or anything like that, but there was a report that came out this last couple of days that both the Pac-12 and Big 12 commissioners are going to meet, talk about whether they're going to merge or have a scheduling type of alliance. I don't know what that really means, but maybe they would play each other somehow, but they're not part of a conference or something together, or merger. So I don't know, very confusing. Certain teams from the Big 12 to play in the Pac-12 would be nice. I don't think all those rest of the teams would be good for the Pac-12, but they could steal a couple of the top guys left, I think that'd be better for the Pac-12. Then, what did I write here? Hold on. Oh yes, so they actually did an early 2022 NBA mock draft, and of course a couple of my guys are in it. So Paolo Banchero, one of the top freshmen for Duke right now, he would go number 2 to the Detroit Pistons. So I guess it means that Detroit would suck so much they would be selecting that high again, but maybe he could turn it around with Cade Cunningham. Then AJ Griffin, the power forward, the freshman at Duke, will be picked number 6 according to this, to Sacramento, who's once again picking that early in the lottery, which sucks. But yeah, good for him. I just don't think Sacramento deserves an NBA team anymore. They should move away. Then Julian Champagne would go number 29 to the Lakers. I don't know if they do have that first round pick or not. I could be wrong, but yeah, this guy, I think he played actually at Pittsburgh, because I knew about this name because he played against Duke, but he played very well, and he played very well in that whole entire conference. I don't know why it says he's from St. John's. I hope it's the same guy, but if it is, I think it'd be a nice steal for the Lakers later in the first round, so you never know. Then to end this off, we have Mark Williams going the very last pick of the first round to the Miami Heat, who is a center sophomore from Duke. Played very well towards the end of the season. Expecting big things from him, so I never know. But yeah, quick thing to end it off. Lakers sign a bunch of people. We'll see if they have enough room to sign another guy or two. I know they want to move off of Dennis Schroeder, and luckily a lot of the places he wanted to go already used up their money, so if they still want him, they have to use a sign-in trade. So hopefully the Lakers will bring back a player or two, maybe draft picks, maybe some extra money to spend later in the year if there's any injuries and you need to sign a player late. So you never know. But yeah, and I think the Lakers and Heat play, it's like some type of weird summer league before the summer league. So we'll see a couple of those young undrafted Lakers players going up against the Heat today. Maybe, I don't know if it's Sacramento or Golden State the following day. There's like those 4 teams. But yeah, we'll see how that goes. And I think this Thursday is the Hall of Fame game, Cowboys and Steelers. So that's always the most crappiest game. I would hate my team to play it, because they play literally everybody on the team. It's not a good game, but luckily the Chargers don't have to play that. Might turn it on for a little bit, see how it goes. But yes, thanks for watching, people. Like and subscribe, comment down below, let me know what y'all think. Have a great rest of your day. Bye.